This week on Teen E! News, more violence in Calgary leaves 5 people injured, an avalanche in BC kills 3, and Cambodia and Thailand are fighting. The weekend of violence began on Saturday at 6:45 p.m. when 2 men in a food court got into an The weekend of violence began on Saturday at 6:45 p.m. when 2 men in a food court got into an argument, when one pulled out a knife and stabbed the other one in the groin area. The victim is in serious condition and will have to undergo an emergency surgery. The man associated with this stabbing is being charged with aggravated assault, possession of a dangerous weapon to the public, and carrying a concealed weapon. A few hours after this serious altercation, a fight between 2 groups of men broke out in a southwest parking lot. The fighting escalated to the point where one man was shot. The man was rushed to the hospital in serious condition, but not life-threatening. More violence erupted in a northeast parking lot around the same time as the shooting, when one man stabbed 3 others. All victims were rushed to the hospital and emergency surgeries were performed on them. It is very fortunate that no one has died from these series of violent events. However, this is part of a growing concern to Calgarian citizens, as their safe neighborhoods may become unsafe and they feel threatened that they may be involved in the violence. 3 snowmobilers have died after another tragic avalanche. The Mounties say the snowmobilers were 2 fathers and 2 sons. They inadvertently caused the avalanche while they were trying to snowmobile up the mountain. The group had an emergency beacon that alerted rescue crews of their location on the mountain. However, emergency crews were unable to reach them until the next day. Nearby snowmobilers were able to get to them the first. They dug the 4 of them out of the snow. However, despite their efforts, only one of the 4 was alive. The other 3 bodies were removed on Sunday, when rescue crews finally managed to get to them. This is part of a growing number of avalanches-related deaths in the Golden area. As RCMP Corporal Don Malolik says, snowmobilers are recreation groups, most likely to be killed in an avalanche, largely because of high marking. He goes on to say, if you can picture a large machine with essentially like a chainsaw with a large track that cuts into the snow, cuts swaths in the middle of these slopes. There are area of snow that's just been cut away or been disturbed. There's certainly odds that it's going to slide down. This is part of also the concern of whether search and rescue teams should be better equipped to go into the backcountry to rescue snowmobilers. Although it is dangerous, many people believe that it is a necessity for this to happen. However, it'll increase taxes and money spending on it. Fighting has broken out between Cambodia and Thailand over a historic temple Fighting has broken out between Cambodia and Thailand over a historic temple, as well Fighting has broken out between Cambodia and Thailand over a historic temple, as well as control over oil and gas reserves in the area. The conflict so far has forced 16,000 civilians on the Thai side of the border to evacuate their homes due to heavy shelling and artillery fire. However, Cambodia has called in UN peacekeepers to intercept and dismantle the situation and once again return peace between the 2 countries. The fighting began when the Thailand Prime Minister accused Cambodia of trying to move the border back of the Preah Vihear Temple, which currently resides right on the border. The Prime Minister said that Thailand used its right to defend itself and will continue to do so if Cambodia continues to threaten their borderline. However, so far 8 civilians have been killed in the fighting. and fellow soldiers have been. This is a very serious issue, as it threatens the identity of both due to their need to the access to the temple, which has a key part in the historical culture. That is all for this week. See you next time.